official told CNN in a meeting with lawmakers this week that Trump polled attendees on whether he should fire Powell. The next day, though, Trump told reporters in the Oval Office that while he never rules anything out, it is highly unlikely.
Are you completely ruling out the idea of firing Jerome Powell?
I don't rule out anything, but I think it's highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely.
Highly
I don't know
unlikely.
what that means.
It feels like he's still
What does that
leaving
mean?
room open for.
You know it.
Well, anyway, we'll take a look at the crude oil opening range breakout trade at the top of the hour, 8 o'clock a.m. Central Time. That's the opening bell for crude oil futures. We've got this number coming out in about 90 seconds, so we'll see what happens after that. Gold still ticking lower. Last trading gold, 33.62 half. Low of day, 33.62.40. Still ticking down to new lows right now.
Did see our friend Donald Keys in the chat talking about the expected move in GC today is 33.68 high, 33.22 low. Pretty spot on.
Order
there
filled.
on that high, pretty close there, Don.
Pretty close.
Yep.
For now.
We will see. Less than 1 minute for housing starts and permits.
So permits are expected to fall from 1.394 million to 1.39 million for the June. Starts month over month, no expectation.
Order filled.
The previous release was minus 9.8%, and housing starts for June are expected to rise from 1.256 million to 1.29 million.
Thank you, Hogue. We got 10 seconds till this report comes out.
JD, did you send your $5 back to the Michigan Sentiment people?
Never. Since I never solicited them for it in the first place, I have no intention of returning the $5.
All
even though I
right.
did not take
Somebody's
the
saying it's a 20 spot now.
Is it?
Maybe you won it, JD. I heard it's a 20 spot now they send out.
Inflation.
You got it.
Inflation. I
Right, the
suppose
numbers
this
are
is
out.
Don't get anywhere.
Permits up
Numbers are out, Hogue.
0.2%. Building permits for June expected again at 1.39 million. That came out at 1.397 million. Housing starts 4.6 after an adjusted number from the previous release was minus 9.8, came out and moved it up to 9.7. So housing starts for June expected at 1.29 million, came out 1.321 million. So building some houses out there. Lord knows we need them.
That we do.
Got a little news story on home builders slashing prices coming up in just a little bit.
So, I mean, really not a huge response from any of the markets off of that number.
Yeah.
We're really expecting too much. We do have some earnings that are already out this morning. American Express, Charles Schwab, and 3M both beating expectations on earnings per share as well as revenues. The real story last night was Netflix revenue was up 16% in quarter two. I'm hearing that Squid Games was a big part of that boost in revenue for Netflix. I have never seen Squid Games. Have you?
Yes, I have.
I couldn't even tell you what it's about.
Sounds like a video
That's
game.
all I'm saying about it.
Like,
That's all I'm saying about
like
it.
Cuber.
Yes, I have. Still haven't taken out that high in gold that we made right after that 1 minute opening range. Ticked higher by a tick, got us into a long. Looking for some follow through, didn't get it. Settled back into range. Now we're tapping on the ceiling of new highs again. All right, yesterday, folks, we had some new all-time highs in stocks. The S&P 500 index, the cash market, added 0.54%, record close of 6,297.36, ninth record high close this year. NASDAQ gained 0.75% for its 10th record close of 2025, closing out the day at 20,885.65. Dow gained about 230 points, settled at 44,484 half yesterday. New all-time highs in stocks. It was a pretty big day. We were talking in the green room about all those thousand lots getting thrown around at the end of the day yesterday.
Crazy.
What was that all about, Hoop? What was it all about?
2,000 lot came through. Hogue and I, we talked a little bit after the markets closed yesterday, and we've had that conversation for a while about the adults in the room and people like, what the hell are you talking about? It's a lot of money has sit on the sidelines, and as we continue to just kind of drift higher, they don't really care about price, right, Hogue? I mean, we can call them laggard buyers or whatever, but if they're going to get in, they're going to get in, and if it's at all near all-time highs, you know, they're going to get in, and
Yeah,
they
I
plowed
don't
in
care.
late and they plowed in hard, and it'll be interesting to see here on Friday with OPEX expiration day too. I don't like to get super, anticipatory on a day like today, but I just it seems like after a day like that, sometimes we get very directional, and we get directional early on a Friday, and we could go. So just
Yep.
going to keep my eyes on it. But that volume was um, very evident yesterday, and I think us old schoolers really saw it, since we get to see a little wider perspective with having a look at the wide span of level two. And I talked a little bit more about level
Yep.
two yesterday in Discord.
There's an advantage to being able to read the tape. Get that level 2
Mm,
data so you can see those orders stacking up. Uh, people want you to see their orders. They're going to show them.
yep.
I mean, when you start reading the tape, you'll start to pick out patterns. You'll see size coming in that's not typically there. There's anomalies like that, and you can start trading around it. It's really an art form reading the tape. Just trading off the dome.
Yeah.
We did put in a new high in gold just a minute ago. Oh, as far as equities, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of signs still pointing to the upside. Quarterly earnings are beating
Mhm.
expectations. The retail
Mhm.
sales data yesterday, consumers are still spending money. Inflation
Yep.
doesn't seem to be there at the moment. We're going to get PCE numbers, I believe, next week. That's the Fed's preferred inflation gauge. It's going to show us how much people are making versus how much they're spending. But so
Mhm.
far, it looks like business as usual in the U.S. Nobody starting to tighten the belt or buckle down just yet. So
Yep.
Yeah,
that's a good
overall, I
sign.
mean, just
Mhm.
my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of other people are sharing this opinion, that earnings have been really, really good, really positive. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, we're at all-time highs, but I'm just very encouraged by what we're seeing from all of these earnings. We will see when we get to the Mag 7 how that goes, of course. But
Yep.
we're looking at the
Order
videos
filled.
that looking to open regular
Order
trading
filled.
hours, right at new highs here. So things are certainly look. Um, was looking at, I'm not a crypto guy,
Order filled.
but I did buy
Order
some
rejected.
Coinbase just to have
Order
some
filled.
exposure to it.
Mhm.
Uh, and I mean, it's set to open at
Order
new highs
filled.
right now. I'm 419, almost 420. I mean, it's up 3% already this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the crypto bill, and there was a lot that came out late too,
Mm-hmm.
Hogue,
Yep.
about how the 401ks are going to be able to, maybe Trump was talking about allowing crypto in there. I mean, it's what do they say? I don't think it was my grandma's, but it's not your grandma's crypto anymore.
No.
It was very it was very speculative for years, and over the last, I'd say over the last year, obviously with Trump getting elected, it's become, and I think the biggest thing, guys, is big money needs to be able, if they're going to take in a big position in it, is going to have a place to hedge it. And this goes back to when this Chicago Board of Options Exchange created options. And when the options were created, it gave them a chance to, once again, manage risk. So, it's become definitely not as volatile, becomes a little more plotting as a trade. So it's just the next leg up looks like, it's coming.
You trade a lot
I agree.
of Bitcoin? Oop.
I trade micro Bitcoin like Coach Paul.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
it's been a little tougher because a lot of it moves um, overnight, and it's definitely not quite the average true range on it has
Order
shrunk.
filled.
So you definitely have to be a little bit
Order
more plotting
filled.
of where you get in. But
Order
once again, it's
filled.
not a super expensive contract, so you can at least manage the risk. But the
Order
futures
filled.
one is what,
Order filled.
five Bitcoin.
Mm.
It's like
It's a huge contract. Yeah.
margin wise,
Yeah,
it's
it is.
like $130,000 you need in your account to carry one overnight.
Mhm.
I mean, it's
Mhm.
four times an S&P.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, pinned to the top of the chat, like I said, Top Step daily levels. You'll see Coach Hoop's micro Bitcoin levels in there,
Hmm.
refreshed every morning before the New York Open. They come out usually post them about 6:30 a.m. Central Time. All right, guys. Like I said, we're gonna take a look at that crude oil opening range trade at the top of the hour. We're running a little long here. Hoog, Hoop, what's going on the charts? Tell us everything.
All right. All right. Well, let's start with gold since we've already dabbled in it. This is the weekly chart. I like to start with the weeklies on Mondays and Fridays. What do you have we kind of been in this range? We're starting to get a little bit of a triangle pattern here. Let's just do this. So the market is doing what range bound markets do. It is narrowing. Let's just go to the daily now. There's not that much to talk about on that weekly chart. And again, still in the daily chart, we're very range bound. We've been range bound since let's just call it the middle of April. Putting in lower highs, putting in higher lows, narrowing the range. We have not left that range. These weekly kickoff levels are here basically for the third week in a row, and looks like they're going to be the same next week. I think we're going to need to break out of this before we're going to see any significant moves in any direction. Of course, that just suffices to say. Let's see here. Um, Low volume yesterday. Not a lot going on there. We did add 1,600 in open interest. However, it's been waffling. Open interest is up one day, down the next. This is a market that is in short time frame control, but has been providing some pretty decent
Order
opportunities.
filled.
Oop, anything remarkable about the daily you want to talk about?
No, like I said, Hogue, I mean, we talked about this market. It's, the open interest, like you said, kind of keeps bouncing all around. Yeah, I mean, it's sideways. We're so used to that market having a lot of energy. It got some the other day when it had that massive range. But
Mm,
other than that, it's kind of stuck. I think, you had a great spot the other day down at that, the 33.28 area, 30 area.
mm,
That was a nice
mm,
area. But, violently range bound, other than
mm.
that little hiccup the other day, but that still really didn't whack us out of line, really. So I
Right.
just think, like you said, seems to be a lot of indecision there right now. So,
All right. Well, let's take a quick look at the 30 here.
yep.
And yeah, that was that previous day's low we were looking at here, and that's when some tweets started to come out and the equities took a dive. So then, that naturally gold just kind of popped. And then yesterday we swept below that level, cleaned up a little bit of garbage down here in this naked point of control. And buyers came back in. We had a double distribution trend day to the upside yesterday. We have overnight inventory to the long side. Now it's looking more like the buyers have come back into this market as far as reference levels above. I'm looking at last week's high and above that, maybe weekly kickoff high. There is an unchecked point of control up there, 33.9670. So we're going to be, I think, kind of looking at, last week's Tuesday's, Wednesday's high. How about last week's high? How about weekly kickoff below? Well, I mean, if we can't close this gap relatively early, then we should be looking for opportunities in the direction of the gap. But if we do come back and fill the gap, it's going to come down to about 33.4690. We've got settlement right in that area, 33.4530. And the IB high looks interesting to me as well if we do get a pullback to that. But right now on the 30-minute chart, I mean, we are one time framing higher. And until I
Mhm.
get to some sort of reference level that I can limit risk on, or I get some sort of reversal pattern on this 30-minute chart, or maybe even a shorter time frame chart, I don't really want us to try and sell this thing, because I mean, we're still seeing some buying coming into this. Who knows what's going to happen? But we've got some pretty established range, and pretty established supply zone up here.
Yeah.
So this would be certainly something I would be interested in looking at. What do you think, Oop?
Well, we always talked about, especially when we look at the 30-minute, when it gets directional. I mean, I've seen you can get anywhere from, 6 to 10 bars in a row that will just be green. So when it goes, it's a metal, so it tends to go directional. So you got right now, you're sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right now. Yeah. What's the old saying? Don't fight a directional market.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, when that market gets directional, and I mean it could stop and flip the other way, but typically when it gets going in a direction, you kind of try and find a way in, which isn't always easy. It's Friday here. It feels like once again gold's kind of stuck in a range, and it's kind of looking for a new catalyst to drive it, either to break through maybe that 3300 level, or
Mm-hmm.
break through 3400 to get another leg higher, and it's been stuck there for a while. So
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it has.
mhm,
I'm liking what you're seeing on the left hand of your chart there. A lot of excess up there around that 3380,
mhm,
3384, 85 level,
yep,
from
mhm,
the other day. So a little bit of a demand or a supply zone up there. We're going to have to see how this plays out, of course.
yep,
Let's take a look at the S&Ps, because Hoop and I we talked yesterday after the close, and there was
mhm,
some major stuff going on the end of the day yesterday. Again, starting with the weekly, it's looking like if we were to end the day where we are now, we've got a relative breakout above a 2 week area of balance. Balance to breakout rules are applying today. It's going to be a challenging trading day. If you ask me, it's hard to buy all-time highs. It is
mhm,
monthly option expiration that could throw a horseshoe into anybody's plans. So,
mhm,
this weekly is, what do we got to tell you? It's going higher
yep,
until it doesn't.
yeah,
Let's
it's
look at the
just
daily now. So this is our 2 week balance. Okay. What do we do this week? We checked above the previous day's weekly high. We checked below the previous weekly low. We swept both, came back inside. Now we've closed. We got a close above last week's high, 33.35.50. A lot of folks are going to be considering that close above there as time, time marking acceptance of higher pricing. Um, we let me get my notes here. So this is the challenge, hoops and everybody. Now we want to monitor for continuation. Balance to breakout rules. You fade the extremes. You go with a substantial breakout. But how do you gauge a substantial breakout?
Yeah.
That's one of the things we're going to talk about in this 30-minute chart is how much volume came in at the end of the day yesterday on this potential breakout of balance. Whoop, what do you got to say about the daily?
On the daily, the biggest thing, and it's a number, by the way. I kudos on your open interest video. I saw that one. I was like, hey, sometimes I feel it's only me and you that look at open interest sometimes, but um, you know, it's on that daily. I see basically 7 straight days of open interest increasing. And the open interest number, I think, was up almost 12,000 yesterday. Once again, Hogue, you know, the larger players don't really, this is kind of a Dalton thing. Dalton doesn't really uh, talk so much worrying about, price. And it's one of those things right now where, yeah, they're plowing in. And I have had my years of standing and getting tire marks on the back of me as the market has run over
Mhm.
me. And last year, as I've shared with you, Andre and JD, was my, I'll call it aha moment where I kind of got ran over for the last time and said, if I ever try and pick, tops or anything like that, I'm definitely being more aware of where my risk is. So, yeah. And we can
All
say
right.
there's a lot of matzo balls out there, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, let's look at the 30-minute chart. And well, I guess we'll start with what happened yesterday. Opening range was a dead ass low. We had a double distribution trend day to the upside. Spent some time here, some single prints, and then spending time here, and then a continuation at the end of the day. When you look at the volume bars here, the biggest volume of the day was that last 30-minute bar. There was a huge amount of size coming in. We ended the day with negative delta. So that tells me that there is the possibility that we've woken up the longer time frame here. I was reading an article earlier where there's a fund that has been holding cash on the side. About eight maybe 9% of their holdings are in cash. If they're going to underperform, they're going to have to put that money somewhere. We'll see. So back to what happened at the end of the day yesterday. Well, we broke out above last week's high. Okay. I'm considering that somewhat of a breakout of the current area
Mhm.
of balance. And the amount of volume that came in up there ended up being in that last half an hour about 9% of the total daily volume. We added 11,000 in open interest. All right. If we take a look at the direction from yesterday, those are potentially new longs. And the fact that we ended the day with negative delta leads me to believe there's a nuance there that says, we have poked the bear with the stick, and the bear is not happy.
Yep.
uh, as overnight inventory is concerned, we are looking at maybe a little bit long, but not much. Are we
Yeah.
going the regular trading from yesterday? 63.45 half, maybe a little bit more net. Yes, 33 or 63.40. Create a session gap. If we can't close that gap, of course, we're probably going to be looking for opportunities to the upside. There are some references that just going to point out real quick. Overnight high, we just talked about that around 63.56, whatever it was, 63.
57. Yeah.
57, 63.57. There it is. All right. So what about references below? Well, there's the gap close. We just looked at that, so we're gonna put that there. And how about settlement? How about the close of the single prints here, and then value low, TPO value low below that at 63.10, 63.10, right about there. So if we do kind of pull back and we get opportunities to buy the market at weakness, these would be interesting levels for me, because if they don't hold, then I can limit my risk on that. I can keep the opportunities cheap. Uh, Hoop, what do you think about? What do you think in the S and P's
I think
today?
I mean, you and I are we talked the same shop yesterday. Biggest thing that you said today is if the opening range trade is working and cooking right now, I think I'm and once again, I kind of put that on the back burner a little bit, Hogue. But now
Hmm.
that you mentioned that again, and once again, that kind of those trades kind of fall off the wayside, and we don't pay attention until we start seeing it happening again. So I think right now at all-time highs, I'm gonna lean a little bit on, and I normally don't like the first 15 minutes,
Hmm.
but today, if that thing's to start to be a pattern, and it goes directional, might be worth a scalp. That's for sure.
Hmm. All right. So we're gonna move on to crude oil right now. But JD's got a couple of news items for us.
Yeah, for sure. We've got home builders across the nation starting to feel some heat right now. Confidence has been waning for about 15 straight months, even though we did see an uptick, just a slight uptick so far in July. But home home builder confidence is down. Home prices are being slashed at the highest rate in over 3 years. So that NAHB index rose 1 point to 33. Index stood at 41 last July, but anything under 50 is considered negative sentiment. So home builders slashing prices as demand is waning. Buyer confidence is down a little bit. It saw a 1 point drop to 20, which is the lowest reading since the end of 2022, according to
Mm.
CNBC. So buyer traffic is down, builder confidence is weighing, and home prices are looking like they're coming down. We were talking about the housing market yesterday, so I wanted to follow up on that with all of you. All right.
Interest rates aren't
We have
helping either.
interest rates are not helping, but they're thinking of getting some help from this new tax bill that's coming out.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll boost confidence a little more. Don't know just quite yet until that starts really trickling down to consumers. But so far, builders are not very confident in the U.S. housing market. All right, let's get on to crude oil. We're going to take that opening range trade in just a couple minutes. The
All
charts.
right. So we'll be quick going through these charts. I'm going to skip the weekly because everybody knows how range bound the crude oil has been for the last year or two, starting with the daily, very range bound. Yes, we are September today. I've
Yep.
adjusted the weekly kickoff levels. 71.70s weekly kickoff high, 64.40s weekly kickoff low. Last week's low, last week's high, really kind of enveloping the range for this week, and that's kind of typical about rollover. Um, we're rotating from low to high, high to low, low to high. Do we see any breakout to the upside today? Who knows? We lost 26,000 in open interest yesterday, but it's rollover. That's going to be very blurry. A lot of folks may be liquidating some of those positions instead of moving them over. Oop, what do you think about the daily?
Yeah. I mean, we just finished rolling. I usually wait for the dust to settle for a day. The only thing that I really saw open interest wise is that even though September's the front, there was like almost a 10,000 increase in October. So,
Hmm.
it's a very spread market. So
Hmm.
that kind of caught my eye a little bit to see the October contract have that big of a pop. So right now, for some reason, she wants to keep going higher. So that's for sure.
Hmm. Yeah. So let's look quickly here at the daily. We have some pretty decent overnight longs here. And reference level. Last week's high, 67.63, I think. Overnight inventory long. We're already seeing some reconciling here prior to the open, but we are opening with a gap. So again, gap rules apply. We can't close the gap relatively early. Market might be accepting higher pricing, and maybe we get to take a look at some longs at some point to maybe go and retest that last week high, the upper extreme of this week as well. Man, the short-term trend is higher. We've got VWAP moving higher. We've got VWAP
Order filled.
Angled higher today. Buyers have been in control since the lows here on Wednesday. Do they remain in control? Quick thought about this, Hoop. I know this is a tough market.
Yeah, I mean, we
Skin
got
rollover.
yeah, it's just finishing up, letting the dust settle. I don't know, maybe Dusty Baker Hughes rig count, um, might have something. I mean, crude likes big fat round numbers, so $70 area is kind of feels like where she wants to push to right now.
Mhm.
I haven't trusted this market for a long time. Every time it looks like it wants to minus the skirmish, every time it looks like it wants to break out, it comes right back. So
All right. All right. So, well, we do have the market out of balance, out of range from yesterday. Kind of sometimes can improve the probabilities of the opening range trade. JD, we are getting pretty close here. About a minute to
We
go,
do.
and let's do it.
We got one piece of crude oil news before we get started. It has to do with
Right.
inventories and everybody's second favorite Series 3 word, backwardation.
Mm-hmm.
Sound off in the chat if you know the
Man.
definition of backwardation. Here's a quote from Dan Shriven, head of oil research at Goldman Sachs. While inventories globally have built very significantly, stocks in the pricing centers, especially in the U.S., are still quite low. Market's focus has shifted to downside risk supplies. That's what he said. And supply concerns reflecting in the curve right now. We have premiums being paid in the front month. Front month delivery is more expensive than the back month prices right now. That is called backwardation. The front month is trading higher than the back months. Happening in crude oil.
It's been that way for a while, JD.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes, it has. We're open.
We are open. 8 o'clock a.m. Central Time. Opening bell for crude.
All right.
Looking at that 1 minute ORB.
1,300 contracts traded at 66.90. Just looking at the dome.
18 tick wide opening range so far.
Mm-hmm.
708 high in the micro. You have 08 high in the mini also, Hogue?
08. Yes.
Yep.
Right.
690 low.
Working stop to enter above. Stop to enter below. We get too far ahead of this. Let's see if we get tagged in. All right, stop to enter below 66.89. Stop to enter above 67.09. 20 tick spread on our potential entries.
Crude used to be a market of contango for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Contango, our second favorite, and we are in 66.89. Contango is our second favorite. I guess Jack would say it's his favorite Series 3 word of all time. Contango.
Exactly.
All right. So we are short 5 MCL.
66.89. CYA 67.19.
All right. Right down against VWAP on the 30-minute chart here, 66.84.
It's the most heavily traded price on the dome, if you look, too, by the way.
66.84.
66.90. Yep.
So it did
Well,
give us a couple of ticks.
we were in this trade for a while yesterday, if I remember right, JD.
We were a
Mhm.
couple
Eventually,
hours.
yeah, market came back and
We
bit
did not
us.
adjust. We did not Lenny the trade. Uh,
No.
kept the CY intact. We were never more than
Order
about
filled.
1.5 R in the money on that trade, and it just kind of crept higher and then eventually popped, blew us out. But it was pretty, yeah, pretty sideways yesterday. Almost tagged us out a couple of times before coming back.
Seasonally, it's tough to fade crude here right now. You're in the middle of summer, so
Yeah.
demand is pretty damn high right now. So
Mm,
everyone's driving everywhere. So
Mm-hmm. Well, I will
one
continue to
thing,
monitor this trade. What's up, Oak?
well, the one thing I do like about this is, I mean, the market's been rotating inside last week's range, and we're up against. So,
mhm,
if we can bring it down to settlement, close the
Order
gap.
filled.
yep.
Well, I'll continue to monitor this trade. Monitor this trade. Why don't you and Hoop run over the Nasdaq charts real quick?
Awesome.
See what else is in the news.
Sounds good.
All right.
So look at that breakout, mostly yesterday, above that
Yep.
2 week range, weekly kickoff level from last week. I think it was somewhat impactful. I'm going to leave it on there for now. Uh, but it was a little bit different in the Nasdaq yesterday. Here we know we've got the 2 week breakout. I'm going to go to the hoop and there's that breakout. Okay, we tried it earlier in the week. Wednesday was failed. Almost got back down to the low end of that range, and we broke out
Mhm.
yesterday. Volume was low. As a matter of fact, the volume on Wednesday was 100,000 contracts more. Now that's right from the exchange. However, yesterday we added 19,000 new contracts in the Nasdaq, bigger than the
Mhm.
S&Ps, even with that big kerfuffleation at the end of the day in the S&Ps. The Nasdaq outbeat the increase in open interest. Now, if you've seen that little video, open interest increasing at higher pricing is healthy for the upside auction. Doesn't mean it has to happen,
Correct.
but you got to think. One thing that scares me about it is the low volume yesterday, but with that amount,
Mhm.
there's some buying coming in. Did we wake up the adults in the room? Hoop, what do you think? We were talking about this.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I noticed that too. The huge increase in volume on that yesterday with Nasdaq near the highs. Um, Once again, the only thing you can lean on here, Hogue, is right using Fibonacci extensions and trying to peg. Once again, it's the beauty of trading, right? Guys like Tom Hugar don't use take profit targets. Everybody else has an area where they think things are going. So right now, I just know one thing: it's going up, and
Mm.
people are plowing in at the highs. It's telling a lot of the same story a little bit yesterday. I agree, Hogue, that the S&Ps told us for sure.
Well, you look at the 30, it didn't have that same feel at the end of the day yesterday as the S&Ps did, and the volume
Mhm.
wasn't all that tremendous in that last 30-minute bar. However, the market was basically in a uptrend, double distribution trend day to the upside, and it just churned for the rest of the day right at the highs. A P-shaped profile is usually indicative of short covering, but that's not supported by that huge jump in open interest. This was more than just short covering. This was new longs coming into the market. Now,
Hmm.
the delta, while it was negative at the end of the day on in the S&Ps, ended up positive 7,700. So more aggressive buyers did the I mean, did we chase the longer time frame into using market orders to accumulate these new longs? Quite possibly. Quite possibly. I mean, they're what are we looking at as far as overnight inventory is concerned? Where do we open? We open right here. Nothing really tremendous. Okay.
No.
Market is sitting here waiting for new information. Monthly option expiration today. Anything can happen. If we can manage to open with a gap and get a gap and go, great. Weekly kickoff
Right.
high is within reach today, 23,450. What about on a pullback? What kind of levels are we looking at? Well, I'm gonna go
Order
and here's
filled.
what is the overnight high, which is 23,309 half. Settlement is always an interesting level for an opportunity. As a matter of fact, look at where our overnight low is, basically right at settlement. Buyers have held price above settlement all night. We get a deeper pullback. We've got the close of the single print, which would be the IB high, 23,175 and a quarter, and TPO value low, 23,161. 161. Right there. Pretty much aligned with volume value low. So if we do get a pullback, those would be levels that would help me limit risk. But if we open with a gap and we can't close that gap relatively early, if this thing becomes a zombie rally on a Friday, don't
Hmm.
fight the Friday rally. The caveat to all of this is, well, I mean, there's lots of caveats, but remember, it is monthly option expiration that can change things considerably. And of course, we will be keeping our eye on the news to see if there's any comment about tariffs or anything else that's going on in the world right now. So, but right now, with the earnings going so well, stocks at all time highs, it's like happy days are here again. Oop, what do you think of this 30-minute chart?
Buy the frickin' dip. Is that about? I think that about frickin'. Yeah, it's the only thing I think, Hogue, that I'm going to look at, especially as S and P's and the Nasdaq. And once again, Nasdaq's been the leader, and it's been the leader for you know, the Mag Seven's been the show for almost a couple years now. Is maybe seeing some rotation at some point. The sleepy markets that we don't talk a little bit about, and that's the Dow and the Russell.
Hmm. Hmm.
Maybe as these other markets extend, there might be some rotation that way. So I'm going to keep an eye on the Dow and the Russell a little bit here. Interest rates have kind of got the Russell stuck, but the Dow might be some opportunity.
Hmm. All right. You say rotation. You thinking the Dow may follow the
Yeah,
S&P and P and
I
the
do.
Nasdaq higher?
Yeah, especially because once again, I'm going to get in a little because we are getting into the heat of earning season. I think that's the other catalyst too. You know how the balance when we talk, we always look at percentages up or down in a day between the markets. So um, if we start to see those percentages, as let's say a Dow 30 stock reports earnings, you can get those things where the Dow could be up, a percentage and a half, and the
Mhm.
Nasdaq's flat. So when markets get extended, I do look to see if like markets like the Dow or the Russell are lagging, and maybe they get kind of there might be a little
Hold up.
more value there. I guess is the
Mhm.
way I would put it.
Mm. All-time highs. I find myself being profit taking, but I got to get
Do
that
you
out of
hear
my
that?
head.
When everything looks the greatest, I heard you. I've heard you say it, and
Yeah.
we learned that. We were kind of ingrained that a long time ago, and that when everything looks the best, tends to be, we go back and look at it as, escalator up, elevator down. I don't know what the catalyst is, but I know, once again, you know, Goodyear tire marks from last year. I'm not going to be that guy this year thinking that I've got the almighty crystal ball at the top here, but I'm not saying
Order
I'm not
filled.
looking, you know,
Yeah, that was one of my. This looks the best at the top and the worst at the bottom.
we're at the bottom.
Looking pretty good
100%.
right now, but I'm going to take that thought out of my mind until something proves to me that that might be. All right, JD, how you doing, pal?
We're still in this crude trade. Again, we're trading the September contract today. We have rolled to September. But we had some a little news in the crypto world last night. Big news for crypto. That stablecoin bill that we were talking about yesterday has passed through the House. It's on its way to President Trump's desk right now. Lawmakers voted 308 to 122 to pass the Genius Act. There were 12 Republicans that voted against it, but they pushed it through. What is in the Genius Act, you ask? Well, first of all, I didn't know Genius was an acronym, but it stands for the Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act. What's in the Genius Act, you might ask? Quite a bit. I got a couple bullet points here. First, the stablecoin definition and regulation. The Act defines payment stablecoins and establishes a framework for their issuance, requiring them to be backed by assets like cash, treasury bills, or other reserves at a 1-to-1 ratio. It also includes things like federal and state oversight, consumer protections, reserve requirements, bank secrecy, bankruptcy protections, restrictions on interest payments, marketing standards, dual state federal regulatory structure, and digital asset service providers. Significant step forward regulatory and regulating crypto world here in the U.S. Who puts Bitcoin trading at right now? Is there any reaction?
119,655 is what I have, and it's kind of flat in the day.
Yeah. Well, got the reaction. We're expecting pretty. You would expect a big reaction from the crypto world after something like that passes. But we are still tapping on the ceiling of new all-time highs in Bitcoin right now. We're down a couple ticks in this crude oil trade.
It's going to
Looks like
just
buying
hang
power.
here for us for a while, isn't it?
Yep.
It looks like it, doesn't it? Still looking at I'm looking at a 3-minute chart in crude right now, and buying volume is drying up. It's only been 15 minutes, but I want to see a move right now.
Look at the 30-minute on the YM, by the way. Oh, looks like a gold chart. 6 straight
really?
bars up. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Hoop. Richard Harris says, who here is smart enough to remember Coach Hoop's cool quote yesterday? What was your cool quote yesterday?
Oh, God. What was my cool quote?
Clear that up for us, Mr. Harris, if you please. Last trading crude 66.96. I'm gonna give my platform a quick refresh. Even checked in on the tilt yet.
Order filled.
The tilt the same. 52% short ES, 54% short NQ, 60% long crude, 56% long gold. I don't hate this trade yet.
No.
It's crude.
Yeah, right?
A sleepy market on the open. It seems like
It's
more
just
often
going
than
to do
not.
that.
Yep.
Well, hey, we've got over 2,000 people watching the opening call right now. Let's get everybody to show us some love. Hit that like button. Smash the subscribe button. Sound off in the chat if you're taking any of these opening range breakout trades. What time frame do you like? What time frame do you prefer on an opening range breakout trade? We're looking at the 1 minute. We've been looking at the 1 minute for the last couple months. We got a nice data set to show what this trade has been doing. So far this month, we are up, but our win rate is only about 27%, 28%. We've got a low win rate. It's a low probability trade, but we are up money nonetheless.
Welcome to trading.
Yeah, only 3 winning days out of 13, and we're up.
And a couple whoppers.
All right. Let's take a look at the
Likes a
checklist.
15-minute. Yes, let's take a look at the checklist.
All right. So we got, just looking at the ES trend, I'm going to put in breakout. It is in a breakout state here. We already looked at settlement, net change, volume, open interest. We talked about all that. I'm not going to put all that, populate all that in, but that's the way this thing works. You can just type it in, put your previous week high, low, 3-day high, different reference levels that you want to add. What about trade entry? Your first trade, what's the confidence in it? Is it an A setup, B setup, C setup, D setup? You're going to keep track of that here with your entry price, profit target. But we're always looking to make sure that we're doing our homework before we get started. So we review trades. That's the post market. We don't have to do that. We haven't traded here much just yet. So, all right, remember, don't overtrade. Don't overtrade. Don't trade impulsively. What about, getting yourself feeling right? You got plenty of rest. All right. You update your trading journal at the end of the day, review yesterday's trades, perhaps. Got a little check mark that you can put in there. And then, okay, morning routine is complete. Pre-market research done. Trading plan review. Hopefully you've checked your trading plan. You can test your connection, check your trading platform, trading strategy review. Get your journal ready. Prep your workstation. We're good to go. We are all set for the trading day today. Hopefully you are too.
Have it right next to
And
me.
what's
Nice.
What's that, Hoop?
I have it
Oh,
right
there it
next
is.
to me.
I love that you print it out every morning. That's great. Do you save them too?
Old
you got
school,
like
baby.
you got like a binder with all of them. You laminate
Exactly. Exactly. I'm actually doing a modified one for VIP coming up. So
Oh,
my
very
own.
cool. Very cool. You'll have to
Maybe I'll
share that
share
with
it
us.
next week. Yep, I will 100%.
Yeah, I've
Look
got
forward to
one
that.
too that I used to use for one-on-one coaching and some group coaching. Called it the Market Performance Worksheet.
Gotcha.
Well, folks, let's go over the schedule for the rest of the day. We've got a lot coming at you on this wonderful Friday, July 18th, 2025. Coming up next in Fast Markets, we've got Andre Dolby Hogue, Coach Dakota, and our man Mo. Might even get a drop in from the trader in chief himself for MP. We got the morning recap with Hogue at 11 o'clock. He's going to go over the trades that we took and Fast Markets. Then we've got Trade with Top Step featuring Gabe, Gavin, R, and Dolby time. 12 o'clock, make sure you set your alarms for 12 o'clock. We've got the Trader Psych segment coming up. Andre, Jerome, and Vanessa are going to be talking trading psychology. You guys know Jerome, and on the opening call, he joins Deanna for the Euro trade session every Wednesday morning. That's going to be a great place to be, a great place to learn. Make sure you're here for it. Top quiz, Gabe and Brooke at 1 o'clock Central Time. Then we've got Gabe, myself, and a potential rising star coming in at about 1:15 today. After that, we're going to close out the day in Power Hour with a reversal challenge featuring Andre, Baron, Dakota, and Dolby. Baron and Dakota duking it out in the reversal challenge to close out the week. That should be pretty exciting. I can't wait to see that.
That'll be fun.
That'll be spicy.
It'll be a lot of fun. Checking back in on this crude trade, 66.90 last trade, 66.89.
Mm-hmm.
We are sitting right on top of our entry price. Right on top. House count short 5, micro gold 66.89.
It's just sitting on VWAP right now, just sitting there. break below it. Let's go. Let's see a settlement
Give us a
close here.
move. Give us a move. Everybody, log into
Yeah.
your live accounts and sell crude oil for us right now. I'm joking. This is not trading advice. Do not
No.
log into your live accounts.
Don't we have a
and start selling
disclaimer on
crude oil
that,
for us
JD?
right
We're not supposed to do that, right?
now. Everybody get
Everybody
out
just
and
get out and
support our
push.
position.
Mm. Well, Coach Hoop, as always, it is a pleasure having you here on the opening call with us. Uh, Looking forward to having a really good trading day. Hopefully, everybody's going to have an excellent trading day as usual. We're always hoping. Hoop, do you have any closing comments you want to talk about before we get prepared for the fast market segment?
I think the biggest thing is, as I've shared from last year, don't fight a directional market. If we go that direction, especially in the equities, they're always that underlying bid. So we've all been there. So just be careful to think you've mastered picking the top of the market. That's for sure.
Hmm. Great advice, Hoop. As always, it was great talking to you yesterday. Great talking to you last night.
Yep.
Have a great weekend, and I'll be seeing you in the chat.
Sounds good.
All right. All right, buddy. All right, folks. We are getting prepared for the fast market segment. We do have Coach Dakota hosted Baron last night on Slow Markets, traded at gold, talked about everything you. Mohammed helped us close Power Hour yesterday. He's back and ready to trade these morning markets with us after keeping Thursday green. Always good. Always good. So, yeah, it's Friday. It is Capital Preservation Friday. Of course, if you've had a good week, I always say no reason to get all biffed up on a on a Friday. And uh, you know, we're at all-time highs, folks. Buy the F and dip has been paying out. Don't forget, it is uh monthly option expiration. We are looking at 9 o'clock at the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment. That could throw a horseshoe into things, maybe. Usually not, but we never know. But I'm excited for fast markets. It's going to be a fun one, and it's coming at you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go fast.
Turn those machines back on! Turn those machines back on! Turn those machines back on! Turn those machines back on!
Yeah. I might be a little bit
Get
slow 'cause I just got back from the ER last night.
Uh-oh, there you heard it there. Welcome everybody to Top Step TV. This is Fast Markets, upper right-hand corner,
You're
the
live.
house account. Got the keys to the house account. Dolby time, upper right, lower left-hand corner. Coach Dakota letting us little secrets behind the scenes there. Lower right-hand corner from Riyadh, Mr. Mohammed. Dakota, how are you feeling? What did you just say there before we got on? Or was that supposed to be in the green room?
We're live. We are live. Just
We
saying I
are.
might be a little bit slow this morning because I went to the ER last night.
Oh boy. Is everything okay, Dakota?
Yeah, no. I pushed my body a little bit too hard. I thought I broke a rib, but it is just pretty bruised.
Oh.
Pretty bruised.
In the
So
ring.
it's harder for me to like be loud. It's like whenever I take
Oh.
a deep